Welcome to Endurance Noise Live. It is Sunday, 8:16, about 10 o'clock in the morning here in Bakersfield, California. It's supposed to be 1:13. Yay. Just got news that my good friend, the Jester, who often is on my podcast, has finished yet another 100, Angry Owl 24-hour. Looks like he got second place on his birthday and did about 112 miles. Also, some more news. Interesting. You can get my podcast on Spotify. This is my YouTube channel, and I also put this onto my Anchor podcast, and you can get the podcast on Apple, Overcast, and Spotify bought Anchor. So I finally got the stats, and it's interesting to look at the stats. Gender, 83% male, 17% female. Kind of what I figured. Age was kind of an interesting breakdown. My biggest age group is 35 to 44. And 28 to 34 and 45 to 59 are about tied for 13th and 15%. One of the things that's weird that me and the Blanca were talking about as we were doing our drills in the pool this morning, artists they listen to, the people who listen to my show, they listen to Sam Cooke, Eminem, Drake, Bill Withers, and Nina Simone. I get Eminem because I'm into hip-hop, have been since the 70s. Drake, he's okay, but then the other ones, so very interesting that my demo is into Sam Cooke, Bill Withers, and Nina Simone. Speaking of myself, I'm finishing up the RAT, Race Across Tennessee, tomorrow, and then I'm doing the Personal Peak Summer Series 12-hour on Saturday. They're the ones who they put on that gigantic quarantine backyard ultra that Michael Wardian ended up winning after many, many hours. And since it's going to be brutally hot, I'm going to try and do it on a treadmill. So 3 months ago, they had a 20-minute race, then they had a 40-minute race, a 3-hour, and then this is finishing up with 12-hour. Speaking of races, and the Jester and I talked about it quite a bit yesterday on the podcast, Harvey Lewis is back home, and he wrote, "Quick recovery." I guess his wife coaches cross-country runners, and some of the runners asked if he was sore, and it's hard to believe that she said no. After 146 miles, over 20,000 feet of elevation gain, I honestly don't feel very sore. I was certainly tired at the finish, but I have been getting good energy back into my system. And he talks about visiting a farmer's stand and picked out some colorful produce. And as a vegan, like so many other athletes, like Alex Hornell, that crazy mountain climber, rock climber, weightlifter, Olympic weightlifter, Kedrick Ferris, and he was actually the only USA lifter to qualify for the 26 Olympics. So, I've tried the vegan diet. It works to a point for me, but then because I don't have the money and the time, mainly the money, and to prepare food, if I had a chef, it'd be awesome. I remember I was watching the Carolina Panthers behind-the-scenes NFL thing. I can't remember what their things are called. There's a couple of them. There's one on Amazon and one on someone else, HBO. But there's a whole bunch of Carolina Panthers who were become vegan, and they had just amazing chefs and cooks, and it was some pretty good stuff. I prefer doing it. I am sort of vegetarian vegan a lot, where I don't eat meat a lot of times. But, I don't want to get all into that. So let's move on. Harvey, it's good to hear. He's amazingly going to be running the Burning River 100 in just a week or so. So he's kind of fallen in old Jester's kind of footsteps. Yesterday afternoon, there was a race in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. I tried to watch it online and didn't seem to work. Saw the Masters miles and the camera angles are all kind of funky. And then it got kind of a black screen, women's 800, and I kind of gave up and went and worked out and stuff. Not too much happening in the pro side, but there were some big news, which I'll get to in just a minute on, let's go here right now. The big news is that Rheinhardt Harrison of Nice, Florida High School, who's coached by Tim Schwartz, ran 4:01.34 at the Music City Distance Classic Carnival. He's 16 years old and about to enter his junior year of high school, but he qualifies as a sophomore since he hasn't started. He breaks Edward Cheserek's sophomore class mile record of 4:03.29. Wow. And Edward Cheserek, of course, went on to Oregon and had a phenomenal career, won tons and tons of NCAA titles. His pro career hasn't been so because mainly it's also he's Kenyan, but he's been trying to get U.S. citizenship, so he doesn't want to run for Kenya because that would mess up that. And so, yeah, it's been kind of a big mess for poor Edward Cheserek. But this guy, Rheinhardt Harrison, I guess he's been around for a while, running some pretty fast times. And it's interesting, it used to be this concept that like you don't get fast until your late 20s in distance running, but we're seeing more and more young people crush it. And of course, the East Africans have been crushing it at a young age for a long time. Of course, a lot of people always suspect and think, oh, well, they're only, they're lying about their age. But then we also have the Norwegians, who I'll be talking about in a minute. So some more on that race. His full performance, which saw a 57.35 second last lap, surpassed Edward Cheserek's record, which was accomplished in 2011. The record also landed in a 16-year-old age group, passing Nathan Green's mark of 4:06.20, which the current Borah High senior established in 2019. So, wow, he really, really crushed that. So, congratulations to him. Speaking of young people running fast, Jacob Ingebrigtsen of Norway, he says he had a great race at Monaco. Came in second, but barely second. Ran under 3:30, I believe, for the 1500. He says, this year I've been doing every session. I've never skipped a single one because I was very motivated after Doha. That's why I can run this fast. It's unbelievable to run this fast in one race. It's one shot, one chance. Jacob Ingebrigtsen breaking his European 1500 record. And then Nick Willis, one of our American distance stars, he tweeted out, he says, turns out being coached by your dad is a good thing. Jacob, Jake, and Seb are all under 3:30 with their dad as coach. Pretty phenomenal, 3:30 for 1500. So, and then, of course, can't stop talking about Joshua's amazing 5K record. And they're talking about his splits are just phenomenal. And one of the things that Jonathan Galt of Let's Run wrote that was very entertaining, he says, Chip Degay's world record was a major victory for Team Half Tights, which can now claim world records in the men's 800, 5K, and marathon. While I love to see world records, I am firmly on Team Short Shorts. Maybe Flamingo can get the 110 hurdle record back for Team Shorts. And yeah, definitely they're wearing those like cycling shorts. And Kip Degay, the guy with the marathon record, definitely has them, and the women's and the men's 800. In fact, when I watched Joshua break the 5K in Monaco record in on the roads, I noticed he was wearing those Nike running tights, half shorts, and I thought, I'm going to buy a pair, and I've actually bought a pair, and I have worn them when I'm running on the treadmill, which I'll be doing later. So this is supposed to be 113 here in Bakersfield, California. I started wearing them on the treadmill, and I've actually worn them in a race or two. And my good friend Anthony Culpepper, who's an amazing walker, one of the few people, less than 100 people to walk 100 miles in under 24 hours, he wears them also. So definitely some good stuff. Joshua also tweeted out, he says, what a special, incredible night in Monaco. Thank you for the invite. I finally break 5,000 world record. Special thanks to Global Sports Com training crew and his family and all the people who helped him get there. And then John Mulkeen said, during this world record run today, Joshua covered the final 3,731.59. For context, his official personal best is 7:33, and the Uganda record is 7:30.95. And Mo Farah, who's won many gold medals, Olympic medals, is only run 7:32. So his last year's world leader was 7:32. Pretty impressive stuff. John Mulkeen also says that if you took Sidney Wonderson, Andre Anderson, and Gunder Haag were the world record holders in the mile from 1937 to 1954, if they hypothetically ran a 3-mile relay at their absolute best, 4:06, 4:01, 4:01, they wouldn't be able to keep with Joshua over 3 miles. Pretty impressive stuff. So that's kind of some endurance noise live. Not exactly live because I record it and then throw it right up. YouTube, their live thing is pretty funky, and then when you want to download it, it takes them hours to process it. So I think I'll do the live things when I'm actually out of the studio. I'm here in my Bakersfield studio, which is my man cave. I bought this black background, and I'm using the iPhone camera because it's a lot better than my laptop camera. So please hit subscribe on my YouTube channel. I also have a Patreon page where you can get a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and the links are generally in the show notes of not only my podcast, but also the YouTube channel. So as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.